Okay.
All right, Derbyites, welcome to the much-awaited slugfests of our editors about Best Drama Actress. We are joined by our esteemed panel, creepy lighthouse keeper Marcus Dixon, crime-fighting barber Ralph Galvin, amiable drifter Riley Chow, the perky blonde who's the talk of women's tennis Rob LaCuria, and me, noted vegetable rights activist Charles Bright. And that was a tribute to David Letterman. That was some of his random intros. We are talking about Best Drama Actress, and I just want to put a little levity up there because we honestly don't know what's going on. This is one of the toughest predictions that any of us are going to make. Don't
be ridiculous.
I'm going to downgrade Marcus' status as a person. I can do that.
Kanye West now, for God's sake. Let him finish.
Okay, Marcus, tell us why this is a done deal, and for whom is it a done deal?
Viola Davis won this Emmy a year ago when she was announced as a new Shondaland lead, playing a lawyer. It's done. Let's just end the slugfest right now.
Can we also point out that no person in a Shonda Rhimes show has ever won a lead Emmy?
Yeah.
Sorry, you broke up there a little bit.
Oh man, can I just jump in now because I just can't believe I watched all the episodes. I emailed you all and said, "What the f is going on here? I can't work it out. Why is Marcus on the Viola Davis train? You're driving this train. You're at the front of it. You're so in her camp. It's not even funny, and I don't get it. Firstly, I just don't think she had the best episode submission. Her whole. I know it doesn't, but also it's the Shondaland thing doesn't really hold water unless you're in a guest category. I don't get it. Like, tell me, give me some real good hard arguments.
I think people in the chat box are playing a drinking game every time.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Every time I mention Viola Davis's wig and the wig scene that shocked America and sent shockwaves through Emmy voters' houses. That's the scene that did it. And it's not this episode. I think it's the one before the one she submitted.
No,
but,
it's several episodes later.
Oh, close enough. She's gonna win. Look, she's playing a female James Spader. She has the big courtroom scene. It's not really a speech, like a closing argument speech. It's kind of like an attack. We get to see her in the attack. We get to see her crying in this episode. Ralph, you love when she cries, right?
I'm sorry, who are you talking about?
You.
I try not to listen when you're talking because it's just a bunch of like bullshit that's floating through the air. So I'll wait for whoever else goes next. Were you talking about Viola Davis though and how she's a lot because of her wig?
Yeah, something like that.
You're pretty transparent.
I just want people to get
no range at all.
No range.
Got no range at
She's
all.
angry.
And her show is so soapy. It's so campy, and all she does is she's mad and she cries and she has a speech. And all you did last year was talk about how speeches win everything. Peter Dinklage is winning because of his speech. Everybody else is winning because of his speech. She's not winning because of his speech this year. I have her in fourth. She's good. And she won the SAG. But I think she won the SAG because she had a lot of help from her her film industry pals that were also voting on the same category. So I don't think you can really take the SAG and make it a blanket like because she won SAG, she's gonna win this.
Ralph, sound like a cyborg.
You just became a Dalek. I don't know why, but anyway.
Cyberman, either one.
It's good now.
You guys can go on until we talk about like a real contender in this category.
Okay, so when she wins, are you gonna feel like an idiot when she wins?
No.
Oh, when she wins, can we have another one of these chats? Because I don't.
I just want Marcus. I want you to have a GoPro with you because I want to see the damage and the melee and just path of destruction that Ralph leaves behind him when Tatiana Maslany possibly does not win.
Oh,
well, I'm already counting on that. I'm not like
if Viola Davis wins.
I'm not like too big on Tatiana. I mean, I think Tatiana is great. I think she submitted very wrong, and I think if people are gonna watch it, they're gonna be so damn confused. And this was her one shot to show people what everybody had been talking about. And when you pick an episode that has so many storylines that you have to have been watching for the first 2 seasons before in order to make sense of, I think it's really hard for people then to kind of just stay interested. I mean, Marcus, you told me before that you kind of wanted to shut it off after 5 minutes because you just weren't able to follow, and I feel like that's how a lot of people are going to be. I think she had better.
What a shame.
It's too sci-fi.
It is really too sci-fi, and like I saved it to the last. I watched her episode last, and so I was geared up, and I was so confused. I haven't seen Orphan Black since season 1 because I gave up. I was so confused, and I thought if I'm an Emmy voter, I'm just going to be thinking, what is this shit? And it just wasn't that good. Like, she's amazing. She plays all these characters. That's really cool, but there's no way on earth she is going to win this Emmy. The nomination is the reward for her. We might as well just talk about how good she is, but let's move on. I don't think she can.
Know. See, here's the thing about that. I don't know, because remember, these are actors voting on actors, and there's got to be a lot of respect with the actors who respect that she is able to give this kind of performance. You know, it does use. I heard someone describe another type of performance like this, saying it uses trick photography, but it's not a trick performance. You know, she creates these characters and gives them their own contours and everything. That could put her over the top, and with no clear frontrunner in this category, Marcus exception. I mean, this is the type of thing where any type of thing can happen.
I totally agree with you, and I really, you guys know, I want her to win. And let me just quote Tom O'Neill, writer of the Emmys book, who said that playing twins or better gives voters 2 or more votes for the price of 1, a deal that they cannot refuse, even though he's predicting Viola Davis. But, I mean,
Way to go, Tom.
Toni Collette won for the United States of Terra when she wasn't particularly good that year, but she played a bunch of characters. Sally Field won, Linda Wagner had won. On the daytime side, a bunch of people have won for this stuff. So you're right, Charlie. You know, coming from the actors branch, I know there's a lot of actors out there that do respect what Tatiana does and think she's amazing. So if she has enough of those actors that really are just blown away by what she does, going to rank her number 1, she could totally take this award, and I hope she does. But I just think the episode, if they're going to watch the episode for the first time, this show, it's not the one that she should have gone with.
Yeah. Getting back to Viola. Oh, I'm sorry, Riley. Were you going to say something?
Oh, well, I just love how on the ballot then it actually lists all her characters. You know, it doesn't say Tatiana Maslany has various characters. It says, like, as Allison, Beth, Cosima, or whatever. I have her in second just because I think she's such a wild card. I feel like in a popular vote, Viola Davis will win because she's, you know, respected. She's has 2 recent Oscar nominations, and she won the SAG Award. So I think she's ahead of, like, someone who's kind of similar, like a movie star like Robin Wright or Taraji P. Henson. But I think Maslany is such a wild card because she's playing so many characters and she's not a known actress, but she still got the nomination and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and Ralph, let me ask you this, because we also did a slugfest for drama supporting actress, and you were all over Uzo because Uzo won the SAG Award. What's the reasoning that you're not on Viola, because Viola also won the SAG Award? Well,
Uzo's not a movie star, so and Viola has 2 Oscar nominations for being a movie star. Uzo hasn't been in a big film, so I think Uzo won more from her being actually popular, whereas I think Viola won. You know, this is her first time on television. This was their first season. She was only on for only half a season when SAG voting was going on. So I think her name recognition and the film industry is what pushed her over for the SAG. And, you know, as Riley pointed out in the last chat, Julie Louis-Dreyfus just doesn't seem to do well at SAG, so who's the other alternative in that lead or in that category but Uzo? And, you know, she would just come off the Emmy. She'd been nominated for Globe, come off Critics' Choice, so she was kind of on a roll on Orange, that is.
Yeah, I just want to say about Viola, though, when I watched her episode, the thing that went through my mind is, this is a classic Emmy episode. It has that classic structure specifically, and it checks a lot of the boxes that we would normally think with, you know, Emmy voters. You know, it's a law show. She has the scene in the courtroom, a bit of range, Ralph's opinion notwithstanding, and it's you know.
I'll give you a bit.
Okay, thank you. I got him to budge. I got him to budge on this. Everybody, mark this day. This is going down in history. I think that's what I thought, and that's why it's so hard for me. I have her in 4th as well, it's so hard for me to have her down there. I really think, Ralph, when you sent your email to us, you basically had the top 3 as 1A, 1B, and 1C because you thought they were all so close together. I think Viola is in that same thing. It's just 4 instead of 3.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have her in second. Like, I still think that she could probably win, because of all the arguments that Marcus has made. Like, they're good arguments. It's just that I wasn't impressed with her episode, and that's what I'm trying to at least analyze. That's all I can do, because I have no idea how the voters are going to go in this new year. So I think Taraji P. Henson is going to win. I saw her episode first, and by the end of the 6 episodes, I was still thinking about her performance. I don't like that show. I think it's ridiculously over the top and soapy, but I think she is so... I like the music, I like her, I like a couple of the actors, but the show is a mess, and she is so freaking good in the pilot. When she beats her son, I was saying in the chat room earlier, it was over for me. I thought that was such a great scene. It was just impactful. She's a pleasure to watch. She's entertaining. She's very, very good, and she's the best thing about the show. The only problem I have is, I think Surprise Lover said it earlier, is it going to hurt her that the voters weren't really impressed with Empire? Is that a problem for her?
It could be.
I don't know. I mean, what about Viola Davis on the same account? People weren't overly impressed with
People weren't
how to get
expecting that show to do well, though. People weren't expecting that show to really clean up the nominations. We were expecting Empire to really do pretty well, and none of the original songs were even nominated.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is the music branch, but still, I mean, that's gotta count for something.
That's got to sting, yeah. That's why I have some pause with putting her in number 1. I have her just because I thought the episode was the best, but really, maybe when Riley said Maslany, you know, she's going to get credit for playing different characters, and Ralph said it as well. That's really important too. Like, there's so many arguments for all of these people. You're just looking at the episodes, though. Taraji, she just knocked it out of the park. So I think that puts her in a very good position to maybe surprise and win.
Yeah, you guys are right. There's a lot of good candidates for second place this year.
Yeah. Well, can we talk about the other 2 that we haven't even, or 3 actually? Because Robin Wright is fantastic in House of Cards.
We've only gone through 3 of the nominees so far.
So Robin Wright, I mean, she picked very badly in previous years. This time she's picked a very good one.
The first year, to be fair to her, she didn't really have that many options in the first place.
She still picked badly, Charlie, in my opinion. I just thought, like, she could have, I think she had, I can't remember now, but I remember thinking, wow, you picked that. And then
Chris helped me choose that one.
Well, congrats. But no. This year she picked a good one. I think she even had better this year, but she picked a good one, and I was really impressed with her. But there was no fireworks for me, as opposed to the others. The good old fireworks.
I'm with
you, Rob. To differ. That ending. I mean, well, not the end, but that scene, that press conference with the Russian president. That was great.
It was so subdued.
It was subdued.
It was so subdued. Like,
it was subdued, but for her, that is fireworks. For that character, that is fireworks.
Yeah, and Robin Wright just has this kind of, like, she just has this presence about her that when she's on the screen, that you're watching her and you're paying attention to what she's doing on there. So I think that really helps her as well. You're right. I mean, there's no, she doesn't scream or have a big thing. She does have that end speech, and she does find him, in the cell. So she has some stuff, but she's just got this grandiose presence where you're watching her, kind of like Viola Davis has, where when she's on screen, you're watching what this woman is doing. And I think that is why people last year thought if she submitted correctly, she could win. And I think she still has a chance this year. That's why I had her 1C.
Yeah, I have her. I have like Rob. I have Taraji in first, and I have Robin Wright in second. I got to tell you, those scenes with her and the jailed activist in the jail cell, I kept on thinking to myself, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that episode of Homeland Q&A with Claire Danes and Damian Lewis. And remember, Claire Danes won with that episode, and it was you can see each of them kind of like playing this inner game of emotional chess with each other. And it's really fascinating to watch. And, I still can't get that moment out. I remember when the reaction I had to when she told off the Russian president in that press conference, was the same reaction I had to a lot of the stuff that Taraji P. Henson does as Cookie. I was like, oh, you are kidding me!
No, you
no,
didn't.
She did not just do that!
I know. But you know, the final scene where she tells Frank, you know, how she made him president. Yes, Jed. I don't think there were fireworks. I think it could have. It is subdued. That is the way she plays the character. It is underplayed. She's icy. She's steely. That's what we love about her.
That also adds a degree of realism because remember, she's on Air Force One where press can hear her. So you know, she's not going to be throwing crap around Air Force One.
Yeah, and that's why when you compare
president, and then we're all dead.
Then she doesn't want to win an Emmy, does she?
Yeah, because when you compare it to Cookie, who's screaming and shouting and beating people, and you know, being just amazing, that's what you're comparing it to, right?
I just think there's something about it.
It's funny that
this category, they do love their white women in this category.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I think
it's like the Blazing Saddles, yes.
66 in a row have been
shocking
white ladies.
Yeah. Well, what about the other two white ladies? Elizabeth Moss, she's excellent in Mad Men. A few of the people in the chat room were saying that if it's all about popularity, maybe Mad Men never winning before, maybe she might be the one to do it. She's really good in this finale, but there's not enough of her.
Yeah, I rewatched the finale and just thought, it's really, to me, that the idea of submitting this episode was kind of a disservice to her character because it was a love story, essentially. And it just to me felt so wrong for her character, since her character is this person who is a working single woman in the 60s and now going into the 70s, and she's having to fight everything everything that time represents. And I think she should have gone with the Lost Horizon episode, but with those great scenes she has with John Slattery, and of course that badass scene she has at the end when she's walking in with the cigarette and the tentacle porn picture.
She could have been really competitive with that.
Yeah.
Also, the finale, it was such a vehicle for Jon Hamm. I mean, nobody watched that finale and said, oh my god, let's give Elizabeth Moss an Emmy. But everyone was saying that about Jon Hamm. And in
all fairness, they haven't been saying that about a lot of Mad Men actors for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I think 34 losses.
That's a problem.
Yep. 34 losses.
Shocking.
They have 3 more this year, so they could go 0-37. Yeah.
Please fix that. Please give it to Jon Hamm. But anyway, and what about Claire Danes, guys? Because I really hated the storyline where she's sleeping with the Pakistani guy, and then it's so boring for me. And then at the end episode's great because she watches him being shot from the camera on the drone. But other than that, it's like, great. What? She should have picked Rita.
Isn't it great when innocent 17-year-olds get shot?
This is Rob. This is total Rob.
She's the Robin Wright from last year, right? She had an obvious Emmy-winning episode, and she chose something else. We don't know why.
The scene though, where she's telling them to take the shot with the drone. That is good for her.
It's great.
But it's like
right
15 seconds.
Yeah.
It's right at the end. It's not long enough. She had that episode where she gets drugged up on hallucinogens.
Yeah.
I feel like they wrote that for her to win an Emmy.
And then
she's won twice for this role, so they clearly love her.
What do you guys think, back to Robin Wright, because these two we've kind of declared our 5th and 6th, to Robin Wright, so Kevin Spacey submitted the same episode that she did. Do you think that now that gives people 2 chances to watch it, or if you're just gonna go watch Kevin Spacey in the lead actor category and just vote for lead actor drama, you're gonna see Robin Wright's episode as well. So then does that trigger some people to be like, wow, she was awesome, I'm now going to go vote for lead actor. Do you think any of that kind of helps her at all? I mean, it's kind of like in the supporting where we always say that when multiple people are nominated, they have 2 teams to look at. I don't know if that may help now with this kind of new voting system.
Yeah, and the same could be said for Elizabeth Moss from watching for Jon Hamm's Emmy episode as well. I had the same thoughts, Ralph. I wonder if it will help, because Kevin Spacey doesn't do as much as Robin Wright does, in my opinion, in that episode, except for the end where he's fantastic. But again, you have to wait until you get to that. And you're watching her, and she's brilliant and understated and all the things we love about her. It's a problem. It really is. Maybe it will help. No idea.
It also could be a missed opportunity where they could have done separate ones, and then voters that are voting on both lead categories could have seen 2 different performances. But, I mean, all these new rules, it's a huge question mark. We don't know how things are going to play out.
Yeah, it's completely, up in the air, and I love that we have this type of thing with the Emmys because Lord knows at the Oscars we were just like, oh yeah, Julianne Moore, what's next? Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's
boring.
a good point.
That's
Yeah,
why we love
I
the
think
Emmys
so,
so
yeah.
much.
And so and we have this plethora of amazing people who got nominated. I can't think of any at the moment, but probably several others that probably should be in this category that aren't here. It's
Vera Farmiga.
Vera Farmiga.
Maybe Taylor Schilling, perhaps. Like there's
Juliana
a
Margulies.
Yeah, Juliana Margulies.
Yeah.
Like it's so many wonderful women on television that could have been in this category that weren't.
Yeah.
It says a lot about TV, doesn't it? And about the Emmys. Just that's why we love it so much.
Yeah, definitely. And this is going to be probably the one that I'm going to be most on the edge of my seat of because of the amount of realistically being able to see how many of these as winners. That's what's going to keep me going. Just make me go, oh God, who's gonna win?
Yeah,
I know this should be the last category they present. Screw best drama series or best comedy. This should be the last one because we have no clue what's going on with it.
I second that.
Yeah, I don't second that because this is an obvious one.
Oh my God.
In the chat box, Deny L said that boring episodes that Dane submitted is also up for directing. So
really, wow.
I guess we were kind of poo-pooing the episode, but the Emmys liked that one.
Yeah,
we're poo-pooing it for the performance that it was submitted for, not for the episode itself.
True, but I mean, I was poo-poo. I thought the episode was. I thought there were better episodes from Homeland than this one. Like, I don't know why it got nominated, but who knows? And I know why Claire Danes picked it. I was kind of slightly involved with Showtime just in terms of their reasoning, and which I'm not going to talk about. But they really love this episode. They think they're one of their best ones, and they think she's really good in it too. Maybe we're going to be all wrong, and she'll win again. I will fall off my chair if that happens.
And one more thing on the Robin Wright thing, because maybe I'm trying to talk myself into her, but not really, is that the acting branch really loves House of Cards. It got 5 acting nominations, if you think about it. It got supporting and lead, 2 leads, and then 2 guests. I mean, they really like the actors on this show.
Yeah, and did it get 5 last year, or did it only get 4 last year?
I think it only got 4 because this was Kelly's first, and it got Mara.
Rachel Brosnahan, that's a big one.
Yeah,
that is a big one.
That's just like out of nowhere. Yeah, that's a really good point. And Robin Wright's won a Globe. Look, she's quite popular. She's never had such a good opportunity to win an Emmy before. I'm actually thinking maybe yeah, she is. Maybe I might have to bump her up. I'm getting more and more convinced that it could be her.
And let's not forget, she also has a lot of people who have sympathy for her who sympathize for her because she survived being married to Sean Penn, which is no easy task.
Didn't you make that joke last year too?
I will keep making that joke, damn it!
It's still funny. And therefore, Madonna should win an Emmy as well, I suppose. I guess.
Rob, get out.
Get out.
Go back to Africa.
Back to the race thing. Do you think voters know that a black actress has never won this, or is that just something we kind of know?
I remember 2 years ago at the Emmys when it was Kerry Washington and Diane Carroll were there to present. And then Diane Carroll said before they had presented that, "Wow, I hope you win because you'll be the first. And it'll be great." And then Claire Danes won.
It was a terrible moment. It was so awkward.
It was like I think more are probably aware than there were like 3 years ago or something, but it's probably still not a big amount.
But yeah, the same can be said for like, do they know that Amy Poehler is overdue? Do they know that no Mad Men actors have never won before? Like, I just don't know.
I think AMC is making sure they know that now.
Yeah, they should be, as they should be.
I think if Viola wins, her Emmy statuette should have a little wig on the head.
Yeah, that she can rip off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During her speech, she can rip off the wig.
Yeah, if she wins, there will be a standing ovation.
That's to get in through the wings and everything. Oh man.
Yeah, she'll be hurting herself. But it's true. If she does win, it'll be a standing ovation. I think enough people are aware that.
I think if Taraji wins, it'll be a standing ovation too, because someone's going to say there's going to be a lot of people standing up, and I think they might actually say before they present that for the first time the winner might be an African American.
I hope they say that because this is the first time there's been 2 nominees in the same year.
Right. And it could have been 3 with Kerry Washington. So I mean, really, it's a pretty big deal. I think enough people are aware that minorities or people of color have not been nominated as much as they should have been. Like, that's at least in the ether. That factoid.
And especially after, whether it was deserved or not deserved, the uproar that happened after the Oscars this year. As I said, whether it was deserved or undeserved I'm not factoring that in there. But there could be, a similar sentiment because of that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
This one's a killer. I'm just going to listen.
Really
This happens every year. Drama actress is always really tough, We forget.
No, it's not.
Every year. It is tough. Last year was tough.
2 years it was not tough. Last year it was not tough. 3 years ago it was not tough.
I don't agree.
You have kids or whatever those things are called. So,
snot machines. They're snot machines.
In all honesty, I honestly think that Viola Davis could win this, but I think if it wasn't for Marcus, I'd probably vote for her. Just that he bugs the crap out of me, and everything that he picks is always wrong. Just like last year when I was sitting next to him at the Emmys, and he had all of these wrong predictions.
But he does well at the Oscars, so he's not completely hopeless.
Gold Derby, a caring environment.
Yeah, we love each other.
This is Gold Derby after dark.
Yeah. Marcus, please pull off your wig, please. Well, when we end this chat, can you just be doing the whole and that would be the best way to end it.
I would love to see Taraji take it. If we're going to go on the historical thing, I think what she did for television this year, the way that she changed it, and her character is so, she's just so popular. It's like it's like people just discovered her or something, even though she's been around forever. I think, and just from the pilot, if we go on episodes alone, she was great in that pilot. She had so much to do, so many flashbacks and emotional scenes and everything else that she's got. So I'm really rooting for her. Of the two, front runners that we see, but I wouldn't mind. I guess I wouldn't mind any of the top 4 winning that we have, either Viola or Maslany, Wright or Taraji. I mean, obviously I'm biased. I want Tatiana Maslany to win, and I think she deserves to because she's been snubbed the last few years. But who are you guys actually rooting for of these people?
Oh. Hands down, if Maslany wins, I think I'll probably even shed a tear. I'll be so happy. The internet will break, and I will just be beside myself. And I don't even watch that show. It's just the story alone of her being like the little show that could, and a very unknown actress who people think is genuinely amazing and who deserves to win. If she wins, my goodness, that'd just be such a moment.
Yeah, and I'm with you on any of the top 4 are really. Because to me they're all so good, especially those top 4. I just am enamored with those tapes that they sent, and I think that any one of them I justifiably could root for, and any one of those wins would make me just delighted. But also kind of sad because the other 3 would not have won.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Marcus, if the top 4 were all bald on their shows and nobody wore a wig, which one would you go for?
Get ready to drink, everybody.
Gold.
No, but at Gold Derby, I did an article just a couple days ago where I really want David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson to present. How great would it be if they presented and Tatiana won? Another sci-fi, a young actress. Gillian was really young when she won.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the category that Gillian won, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it kind of fits that same mold as Gillian, although the X-Files was a lot bigger than Orphan Black is.
Yeah,
but I would love for history to be made. Either Viola or Taraji, I would love that. It's time.
It's time.
Yeah. Yep. As the famous Oscar catchphrase from 2 years ago. Well, we like to think we know what we're doing, but we don't, except for Marcus, who we're gonna. Marcus, I'm gonna send you these. Just take a couple every day, and your delusions of grandeur will stop.
Wig obsession.
Yeah, exactly. So we will see what happens on Emmy night. Derbyites, make sure you keep predicting and keep on checking the site for updates on everything Emmys. We'll see you soon.